From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is swapping the G7 summit today for a peace summit in Switzerland. Once there, he's planning to shine a spotlight on the plight of Ukrainian children abducted by Russia and call for their safe return.
G7 leaders wrapped up their summit in Italy today, where Canada was heavily involved in a U.S.-led push to use frozen Russian assets to secure a loan of $50 billion U.S. to help Ukraine in its fight against Russian invaders. Canada has pledged $5 billion toward that loan. Trudeau will next travel to the Peace Summit in Switzerland, alongside delegations from about 90 countries to discuss a path forward toward ending the war with Russia. Russia and its key ally China will not attend. When asked what impact the talks will have without Russia's participation, Trudeau says the summit is part of the process toward peace. Najura Amalis, the Canadian Press, Savaletri di Vesano, Italy.
Disappointing news for Calgarians. Work crews fixing a ruptured water main break in the city's northwest have unearthed similar issues nearby that will require significant repairs as well. While officials had hoped the work could be completed by next week and regular water service resume, the new find indicates another 3 to 5 weeks of further restrictions. Calgary had reported that water consumption was higher than what the city had rationed over the past couple of days. Looking ahead now, Princess Anne will be in Newfoundland and Labrador next month to mark the 100th anniversary of the unveiling of the National War Memorial in St. John's. The July 1st event will be particularly memorable as the remains of an unidentified First World War soldier from what was then known as the Dominion of Newfoundland will be entombed on the plateau of the memorial. Those remains were returned from France last month, and they'll be laid to rest at the refurbished memorial site. Now, turning our eyes down south, another abortion-related case in the U.S. has been thrown out of court.
A lawsuit challenging federal rules entitling workers to time off for abortions lacks standing, says a federal judge in Arkansas. It was filed by Republican attorneys general of 17 states. They sued the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The rules that take effect Tuesday requiring many employers to make reasonable accommodations for pregnant workers, like time off for doctor's appointments or more bathroom breaks. The Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin says he's considering next legal steps. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
And a judge has approved the liquidation of American conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's personal assets. Reporter Dave Packer has more.
A Texas judge ordering Alex Jones to liquidate his assets, which at less than $5 million, cover just a fraction of the $1.5 billion judgment against Jones for defamation by Sandy Hook families, after he repeatedly said the school shooting in which 20 first graders and 6 educators were killed was staged by crisis actors. The ruling leaving his company InfoWars, where he spread those false claims, intact for now.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Walter Fletcher scored a pair of touchdowns as the Montreal Alouettes continue to look solid in the start of their Grey Cup title defense, emerging with a 23-20 victory over the Edmonton Elks. The Alouettes are now 2-0 on the season, while the Elks have dropped to 0-2. The Dallas Mavericks emphatically extended their season, fending off elimination by beating the Boston Celtics 122-84 in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Meanwhile, Charles Barkley has announced that next season will be his last on TV, no matter what happens with the NBA's media deals. The Hall of Famer has spent the last 24 years working as a studio analyst for TNT, which could lose the rights to broadcast the NBA after next season. And finally, Ludwig Aubert holds a one-shot lead at the halfway mark of the U.S. Open at 5 under 135. The top Canadian is Corey Connors, tied for 9th at 1 under 139. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.